Have you ever been in the grocery store looking at all the different options for salt and wonder which one was really the one you should buy, or even if you should be using salt at all? In this video, I want to talk about the three most commonly used types of salts and the good and bad of each. Hey everyone, my name is Dr. Shauna. Welcome back to another video. The average American diet contains 3,440 milligrams of sodium a day. That's over twice as much the recommended amount of 1,500 milligrams of sodium issued by the American Heart Association. Now, the majority of our sodium intake is not going to come from adding salt to foods that we cook at home, but 75% of it is going to come from eating processed foods. So if you need to reduce or even eliminate sodium from your diet, the number one thing to do is to eliminate eating processed foods. Now, salt is not necessarily the enemy. It is actually a necessary thing to support normal cellular, muscular, and nerve function in our body. Now, as long as we're eating the right type of salt, adding a little bit of salt to our foods to flavor and season our home-cooked meals is not going to pose any serious health risks. Now, those with kidney-related diseases or high blood pressure, they need to purposefully limit their amount of sodium they're taking in each day. Now, I want to talk about the three most commonly used types of salt, and that's going to be table salt, sea salt, and Himalayan pink salt. Table salt is a highly refined salt using extreme heat and chemical additives, which causes it to lose its trace minerals that are naturally occurring during the mining process. Iodized table salt also has iodine added in to help people get their daily amount of iodine. Now, there's anti-caking agents added to table salt, which are going to keep it from clumping and giving it a longer shelf life, but it is a chemical additive, and even though the FDA does say it is safe for human consumption, I always recommend avoiding chemical additives in our food and our seasonings as much as possible. So there's definitely some other healthier options to use that are not going to have these added chemicals, anti-caking agents to it. The first one is going to be sea salt. Now, sea salt is just evaporated seawater. Now, it's evaporated in two different types of ways. The first, for unrefined sea salt, is going to be an open-air solar evaporation process that is a very slow, natural evaporation. Then, for refined sea salt, they use what's called a vacuum evaporation process. It's a quicker process, but it also causes it to have some chemical additives added to it to speed up the process, and it removes any of those trace minerals that are naturally occurring in sea salt. So I always recommend between the refined and unrefined sea salt, most definitely get unrefined. Number one, because it's not going to have the chemical additives, and number two, it's still going to contain some of those trace minerals just naturally occurring in the sea salt. The last part of sea salt that I really like is it has a more intense flavor. So it's going to cause you to need to use a lesser amount than table salt to actually flavor and salten your foods. So then you're not getting these high levels of sodium because you're using a whole lot less. Now, as with everything, you want to make sure you're checking food labels and look to see that there are no added ingredients even in the sea salt. The last type of salt I want to talk about is Himalayan pink salt. And Himalayan pink salt is said to be the purest form of salt out there. It's typically mined by hand, and it comes from the Punjab region of Pakistan, located in salt fields that are 5,000 feet below the Himalayan mountains. Now, not all Himalayan pink sea salt that you're going to see at the store is going to be pure. If it doesn't say that it's from Pakistan, then you know that it's fake. So as with everything, you're going to want to make sure you're checking your labels. So check the ingredients. It should only say Himalayan pink salt. No added ingredients, nothing else. And then, of course, like I said, from Pakistan. Now, Himalayan pink salt, as well as the sea salt, are said to contain between 60 and 84 trace minerals. However, none of those is iodine. So you're not going to get any kind of source of iodine when you use sea salt or Himalayan pink salt. Now, saying that doesn't mean I want you to go out and go get iodized table salt so you can get iodine from that. No, it's better to get your source of iodine from iodine-rich foods, which are going to be things such as tuna, shrimp and other seafood, cottage cheese, eggs, and even prunes. So eating those are going to be a better way to get your iodine rather than getting all the chemical additives and all the high sodium content from iodized table salt. Now, between the three types of salt, the sodium content is going to be exactly the same. But with sea salt and with Himalayan pink salt, because they have a more intense flavor, it's going to take a whole lot less to season your foods than when you use the table salt. So you're actually going to get less sodium because you're using a lesser amount. So I definitely recommend to get either the sea salt, unrefined, don't forget, and Himalayan pink salt, one or the other. Obviously, Himalayan pink salt is my favorite. The color actually comes from some of its mineral content, and the fact that it is so pure and has some of those trace minerals, it's really a good addition to our diets. Now, I really hope that you have enjoyed this video and it's helped you understand the three most common types of salt and which ones to use and why not to use the iodized table salt. Now, as always, I would love for you to put any comments or questions in the comment section below. Hit like if you enjoyed the video, and make sure you subscribe if you haven't already so you don't miss any of my new uploads. And make sure you're going to hit the bell to get all the notifications. And as always, remember, healing starts from within.